Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daria if you're new here, and today's practice is all about decompressing the spine. So we'll be working on lots of forward folding, and this practice is a little bit quicker in terms of length, but slower paced and a little bit more gentle in terms of intensity. So you just need yourself today and some place to move, and whenever you're ready, let's get into it. We'll start right away from standing. So find your way up onto your feet. Spread your feet so they're about hips distance apart, and really feel the energetic press downward through the lines of your legs, through the soles of your feet, and all the way into the earth. Create an equal opposite energetic lifting upward past the top of your skull toward the sky. Just pause here for a couple moments. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. You can soften or close your eyes. Just feel what it's like to stand really upright and stand from this rooted position. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Rinse away your day so far. Eyes open. Next breath in. Sweep your fingers wide and all the way up to the sky. Elongate through your spine and turn your eyes to your thumbs. Breathe out and just draw your palms to prayer at heart center, and then release the hands down beside you. Now begin by tucking your chin down toward your chest. Start to round, rolling your shoulders forward. Squeeze through your core. Get rounded in your upper back, then more into the middle back, thoracic spine. Let your arms hang really heavy and continue rounding all the way down, but go really, really slow, feeling the rooting of the feet all the time. Feel the engagement of your front body so that the back body can expand. Drop your head really fully. And then at the bottom, hang here. Bend your knees enough so that you can rest your belly and your chest onto your thighs. And in doing so, really feeling the deep release that you can get through your back body. Turn your head from side to side, maybe shaking the head no and yes, to really alleviate any tension or stress from the back of the neck, from the cervical spine. Take a little baby sway side to side, left and right, a couple of times. Breathing through everything. And then begin to press down into your big toes. Squeeze through your core again. We're going to roll back up to standing. Close your eyes here and really try to feel one vertebra at a time building on top of the next. So you're not skipping any steps along the way, but you're really articulating through this upward roll. Your head will be the very last thing to come up at the top. And then at the top, go ahead and take a little roll of your shoulders down the back. Breathe in, reach your arms wide, reach all the way up to the sky, look up. Breathe out, palms to prayer, heart center, and release the hands beside you. Let's do that again. So tuck your chin toward your chest. Roll your shoulders forward to start, feeling the rounding through the upper back first. Have a little micro bend in your knees. Hug your belly button to your spine, then round into your middle back. And then as the torso begins to drop a little heavier, the lower back will start to round until eventually you come all the way back down into the ragdoll folds. See if maybe you have a little bit more space this time. And play with what you want to do with your arms. So a couple of options are just to hang. That's option one. Option two is you can catch for opposite elbows. And this can be nice for feeling the stretch along the sides of the body through your lat muscles, sides of the ribs. If you're having a bit of a challenge releasing the tension from your cervical spine, from the upper back and the back of the neck, maybe try with the hands behind your head and create a gentle pulling down on your head to encourage that release. Wherever you land, let's be here for 2 more full breaths. Feel the inhales rise up your feet through the lines of your legs to your pelvis. Feel the exhalations washing down your spine like it's rinsing, clearing away any knots, any tension that you don't need to carry with you. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Release any arm variation that you took. With your next breath in, root into your big toes. Squeeze up through the lines of your legs so they draw more towards straight. Glide your palms up your shins. Stick your butt back and stretch the crown of your head forward, coming into a halfway lift. Firm through your core, belly button to spine, shoulders away from the ears. When you breathe out, keep your spine long so it's like your heart is reaching towards your toes as you bow back down into a forward fold. Again, breathe in, halfway lift, either hands up the shins, or if you like, fingertips to the mat. Try to pull them back to create more space. And exhale, bow down. One more. Make a wave of length with your breath through your spine as you inhale. And as you exhale, bow down, chest to your thighs, crown of head reaching to the earth. Now bend your knees super deep and sink your hips all the way down in between your heels. Walk your fingertips forward toward the top of your mat. You can let your knees go wide. And then tuck your chin in toward your chest and breathe through your back body here. Couple of breaths. Sometimes it's nice to rock the hips a bit side to side, focusing on softening through the creases of the hips as you drop in a little more. One more breath in. One more breath out. Place your palms to the mat. Lift your heels and just come onto your hands and your knees into a tabletop position here. Have your shoulders so that they're stacked over your wrists, hips are stacked over your knees, and press your toenails down. With your next breath in, get soft into your belly, and as a result, let your tailbone start to float up toward the sky. Get broader through your sit bones. Now feel the lower part of your spine beginning to arch, and then arch through the middle part of your spine. Allow your ribs to flare open a bit. Drag your palms without actually moving them back towards your thighs and create a curving through the back of your heart, reaching forward. Then turn your eyes to the sky. Cow pose, full breath in. When you breathe out, soften the tailbone down underneath of you. Squeeze inward through your inner thighs as your low belly contracts. Squeeze your solar plexus up towards your spine. Close through your ribs. And then tuck your chin in and just see how tightly you can compress all the breath out of your body by squeezing your core even more and pressing the ground away from you. Opening the space between your vertebrae as you do this. Next breath in. Tailbone floats to the sky, softening into the front body, contracting into the back body. Open yourself back up into a cow pose. Take it really sweet, really slow. When you exhale, start to press down, hollowing out the belly, rounding through your spine. Chin drops toward your chest. Dig into your index finger mounds. Breathe in, arch the back, tailbone up, heart pulls forward, eyes lift. Exhale, press down, swallow in through your core, round. Now start to come back to a neutral spine, and we'll just play with sliding the rib cage side to side. So draw your ribs toward the left side of your mat. As you do, you'll notice the right side of your body squeezes in. It's like your lower ribs are being drawn toward your upper pelvis, upper hip. And then switch, letting the right side of the ribs expand, left side of the body closes off. Go back and forth. Take a full inhale and a full exhale once you arrive into the position on each side, and just notice the effects of your breath. One more time each side. And then neutralize once your sides are even. Doing the same now with the hips. So initiating the glide of the pelvis toward the left side of the mat, closing the left side body. And then swing your hips to the right side of the mat, closing the right side body. Let it be as though you had a tail. It's like your tail is wagging side to side. Move with the breath in whatever way makes sense to you and your body. Good. Now neutralize and start to just make some more like creative, intuitive circles or arching and rounding through your whole spine. And this can be whatever you like. If there was one movement that we already took that was feeling really good to you and you want to keep exploring that, feel free. Otherwise, let it be a little more free form, so there's not like a pattern to it necessarily. Just spreading breath into the body. Once you've had enough of that, draw the tips of your toes together. Take your knees wide apart and then sit your hips back towards your heels. Crawl your fingertips forward and come into child's pose. Focus on the elongation of your spine, stretching forward through the top of your head and sinking back through your tailbone and through your sit bones. They're reaching towards your heels. You can bring your forehead to the mat for support, or maybe chest and chin to the mat, or if the ground is far away from you, you can slide a block under your forehead, maybe a block or a pillow under the sit bones as well, if there's not as much space to sit back. And just let yourself breathe through your spine. See how much you can try to imagine that the breath is washing through, and that there's a little magic that happens just simply by breathing to this space in the body, directing your breath in your mind to that space. Stay, one more breath in. One more breath out. Start to press down. Come back up onto hands and knees. Parallel your shins behind you, and this time we're going to come down into puppy, but we're going to keep it dynamic once we get there. So crawl your fingertips forward. You might reach your forehead toward the earth, or maybe the chest and the chin if you have a bit more space. Now dig down into your finger pads, and with your next breath in, float your forearms and float your heart a little away from the ground. See if you can get hollow in your core and round your upper back. Think like cat pose. You can look back towards your knees. Then when you breathe out, feel a melting, a softening of the low belly, soften through your ribs, melt the back of your heart toward the earth, and sink down. Again, inhale. Press into your palms, hug them toward one another, toward the midline as you float your heart away from the earth. It's like a balloon, it's rising. And then the exhale breath, like all the helium was deflated from the balloon and it's just sinking in a nice, easy, steady way toward the earth. 2 more. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, melt. 1 more time, breathe in. When you breathe out, this time come down and stay down. Could be chest to the mat, could be forehead to the mat. Breathing here, soften or close your eyes. See if you can relax your feet. Let your thigh bones pin you down to the earth so that the hip creases can relax. Low belly is breathing fully. 1 more breath in and out. Start to press down. Lift your forearms, round your spine, coming all the way forward now onto the belly. So press into the earth, sink your thighs, then your pelvis, and then landing in Sphinx. So the forearms are to the mat, and the toenails are pressing down behind you just so you have a little engagement in your legs. Tuck your chin toward your chest and allow your head to roll from side to side. Little neck circles. Keep both shoulders away from the ears. And if you want to pause and feel more into a space that's opening up for a breath or two, you're welcome to do that. No rush at all. Let this whole practice be almost lazy feeling, or like you're moving in slow motion. Come back to the center when you're ready, lifting the head. Press into your palms, hug them toward the midline, and float your elbows off the ground. So coming into like a yin seal position. And then from here, rock your rib cage side to side. Create a little lifting in and up through your low belly so there's no crunchy sensations in the lower back as you do this. Maybe circling through the shoulders as we're here as well, if that feels good for you. And then start to sink all the way back down, bringing your forearms to the mat. Relax your chest and your chin down and bring your palms either underneath of your shoulders or maybe beside the ribs. Beside the ribs will be a bit of a deeper lift into where we're going next, which is cobra. So when you breathe in, really dig down into your toenails. See if all 10 of them can press to the mat. Press your pelvis down as well, but feel a lifting through your pelvic floor. Hug your shoulder blades toward one another and begin to peel your torso up and away from the ground. Just coming up as far as feels sweet. So if there's crunching in the low back, walk your hands more forward or maybe don't rise up so far. Micro bend your elbows, squeeze the back of your heart with your shoulder blades. Open up through the collarbones. Take one more breath in here. And when you breathe out, softly, slowly lower all the way back down onto your belly. We're gonna go 2 more times. Inhale, press down, rise up through your heart, inflate through your heart, and maybe lift your gaze a little. When you breathe out, soften back down. Breathe in, feel the wave crawling up your spine, lifting you away from the earth. And when you breathe out, come all the way back down onto your belly. Palms by your ribs. Press through tabletop, hands and knees. Now tuck your toes and send your hips all the way up and back into downward facing dog. Really digging into the fingertips. Digging into the toes. Right away, see where your body wants to go. If it wants to move around or if it wants to be still and just breathe. Either way is great. So just see what's working for you in this moment, on this day. Energetically, press the ground away from you. Your palms are pressing down and toward the top of your mat. As they do this, the upper back gets broader. So the shoulder blades, it's like they're wrapping like wings toward the lateral sides of your body, toward the outer ribs. Then from there, you can start to press your heart back toward your thighs, maybe micro bend to your knees to elongate the low back space. And once again, feeling the breath move like water. Inhale up the spine. Exhale, wash back down. Let's start to take some little waves. Breathe in, lift your heels, get rounded into your spine. Think like a cat pose. We're not coming all the way forward into plank, more just into the upper back, getting super rounded, puffed up toward the sky. Then when you breathe out, imagine again, it's like the back of your heart is dripping toward the earth. You can turn your eyes forward, bend your knees, and see how much you can bring your chest toward the mat. Then inhale again, up into the spine. It's like the breath is being carried there. And then when you exhale, come into more of like an arched position. Sit bones tilting upward, heart pressing down. 2 more. Inhale. Let it feel intuitive. Let it the breath just wave through your spine. Exhale. Again, breathing in. And breathing out. Lift your heels. Bring your knees to the mat. This time, take the knees together, heels together. Sit your hips back to your heels and crawl all the way out into child's pose with closed knees. Notice how this feels a little different. Relax your arms. Unless you want to stay really like energetic and active with it, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you can sink your elbows down, soften into your hands. Just breathe. Can you feel the breath spreading not only like vertically up and down the spine, but see if you can feel it also laterally, as though it's like wrapping around the sides of your body, through the ribs, through the hips. One more breath in. Breath out. Press into your palms. Back up into tabletop. Tuck your toes. Come through down dog. Then step your feet wide, about as wide as the mat, maybe a bit wider, angling the toes slightly in and the heels out. And then walk your hands more in between your legs and fold. Wide-legged forward fold here. Drop your head fully. Play around. Sometimes nice to pivot the torso one direction and then the other. Rock your hips from side to side. You can bend a knee and then the other knee. Anything you want to do. After you've played a bit, now just hang. So arms can do whatever they want. You can reach through the legs. You can reach to hook onto your ankles or your feet or even your big toes, just whatever is feeling like the most natural to your body today. Crown of the head stretching straight down toward the earth. Knees can be a little micro bent, working them more towards straight. Feel how much your spine can grow when you focus on the lengthening, when you can imagine more space is being created between all your vertebrae with every breath that you take. Start to bring your palms a little more forward. Take a breath in, dig into your finger pads and halfway lift, tailbone back, heart forward. When you breathe out, crawl your fingertips toward the left. Lift your heels, pivot on your feet, and then sink into a twisted seat. So the right knee lands first, then the right hip, then the left hip. Stepping left foot outside of the right thigh, sink your left sit bone all the way to the ground. If this is too much, have your right leg straight forward. From here, adding a twist, left fingertips to the base of the spine. Breathe in and stretch up through your right side body. And when you breathe out, hook your right elbow to your outer left thigh. Feel the inhalations. The sit bones are pressing down and the crown of the head is stretching up. So just like we found from standing at the beginning of the practice, there's an energetic action both into the earth and away from it. Exhale breaths. Squeeze your core and spiral through your ribs. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to come out of this the same way we came in. So unwind, walk your hands to the right, press into them, lift your hips, pivot on your feet, and turn your toes forward, back into the wide-legged forward fold. Just bow down. Then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, crawl your fingers toward the right, pivoting on your feet, lift your heels, and then keep revolving until the left knee lands, the left outer hip, and then the right sit bone. So now right foot is stepped outside of left thigh, right sit bone to the earth, right fingertips to the base of the spine. Inhale, lengthen through the left side. And exhale to twist, hooking the elbow or give your leg a hug. Just feel your breath and let this be slow. You're not in any rush to get deeper in the twist. You're just seeing how much you can feel through what's unlocking. Start to unwind, face the original back of the mat. Then hands to the left, press down, lift your hips, pivot on your feet, and fold into wide-legged forward fold one more time. Take a breath in, halfway lift. When you breathe out, root your palms, sink your knees to the mat, and then come all the way down to a seated position. We'll swing the legs forward. We're going to take Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, but the rounded spine version. So don't have to focus on keeping length in the spine today. Just kind of drape your body over your thighs and drop everything down. You can have a bend in your knees. You can slide pillows or blocks under the knees if your hamstrings are really tight. Maybe reach to catch onto your calves or your ankles or your feet. You might be able to rest your head to be cradled by the shins. Just breathing. Notice if anything is forced here. Notice if the shoulders are crawling up towards your ears and try to relax there. Notice if the teeth are clenched. Relax that, soften the jaw. Staying a couple more breaths. One more inhale. One more exhale. Just drop your body. Start to press down, rise back up. And then plant your feet, walk your hips forward, and roll to lying on your back. You can hold on to your shins or support yourself with your hands as you lower. Relax the back of your head down. Open your arms wide. Press into your feet. lift your pelvis just an inch, slide it to the left. Then draw your knees in about halfway to your chest, floating the feet off the ground, and then let both legs fall to the right. So we come into this twisted position, easy twist. If you need more length in your spine, start to walk your heart up a little bit. Maybe turn your eyes to the left, soften or close them, and imagine all your muscles are melting off of your bones. No engagement, no work to hold anything up here, just resting, dropping. Soften your belly. Take your really full breaths there. Start to roll back to the center. Place your feet down. Lift your hips, wiggle them just slightly to the right. And then float your shins and allow the legs to fall to the left side of the mat. Root down into both of your shoulders evenly. So drop the right shoulder as much as the left one. And maybe turn your eyes to the right. Are your hands soft? Are your feet soft? See if they can be. Start to make your way back to center. Feet to the mat. And then hug your knees into your chest. Keep the back of your head down, but catch the fronts of your shins and take some circles on your low back, massaging the area of the sacrum. Now, if you'd like, you're welcome to move into plow pose from here. This can be a little intense, so if plow is not in your practice or not something you want to play with today, just take your toes up to the sky, let your legs be heavy, and hang out here for a few breaths. Otherwise, press your palms down and use your core. Start to draw your legs up towards your face, catch onto your lower back, and then maybe root your toes behind you over your head. Keep your head looking straight up, so don't rock your head side to side to create any tension in the neck. And then legs can stay straight, or if your toes are down, maybe bend your knees and press them to the space at the center of the eyebrows. Feeling the rounding of your spine, decompressing. Play around, maybe bend the knees wider so they wrap toward the sides of your head, toward the ears. One more breath. Now, super slowly, begin to roll back down your spine, one vertebra at a time. Your hands can support on your low back or maybe hands to the mat. Do what feels safe for your body and support it. Super slow, rolling down, and it's like a body weight massage here for your middle back, and then eventually the lumbar spine will start to land and the sacrum. And just pause once your sacrum touches down, the low back. Spin your palms up, keep your toes floating to the sky. Take a breath in and a breath out. Now hug your knees to your chest. This time lift the chin in and wrap your forearms around your shins so you can compress your thighs and your belly. Squeeze super tight. Take a full breath in. When you breathe out, open up into Shavasana. Arms and legs reaching wide, extending out from the midline of your body. And let's take a breath to settle here. Full breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh, and as you do, drop your body. And then just take the next minute or so to rest here. I'll wake you back up in just a little bit, but please do take this time for yourself to drop and absorb. Stay here longer if you'd like. When you're ready, start to wake up your awareness again. Deepen your breath and bring some little movements back into your body. Fingers and toes can wiggle. Roll your head side to side. With your next breath in, reach your toes forward and your fingers straight back over your head, and then grow so long through your whole spine. When you breathe out, drop everything one more time. Then hug your knees into your chest and start to rock and roll the length of your spine, holding onto the backs of the thighs for support, rocking to a seat and back down. And after a couple rocks, just find your way up to Sukhasana, closing the practice here in a nice easy seat. Sink your sit bones to the earth, reach the crown of your head to the sky, flip your palms facing up and close your eyes. Feel all the length, all the space in your back body, seeing what it's like to sit upright, open through your heart, and just observe any little shifts that have occurred, either physically or energetically or mentally, maybe all three, in this practice. Draw your palms to prayer at heart center and take a moment to find gratitude for the body that you live in and all the ways it moves you through the world. Let's take one final breath. Inhale fully. Exhale, let it go. Then lift your heart and bow, chin to chest. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this little bit of movement with me today. I hope that this was helpful for you in decompressing the spine and that you're feeling good. If you're not subscribed to my channel, you can do that down below. You can also join as a monthly donation member. Both of these really help to support me. I hope you're doing well wherever you are, and have a great rest of your day or your night. See you soon in the next class. Bye.